Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another great episode of The Public Affair. Thank you guys again so much for watching and loving and supporting this podcast. I truly, truly appreciate it. Of course, big shout out to Rogue Media Network, my girl Allison, my boy Aaron, my boy Mike, who's every single thing to make this podcast a run with. I really, really appreciate it. And to all the supporters, I really thank you guys so much for everything and all your love and support. Of course, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe this episode. And before we get started, I definitely want to give a shout out to a few of our sponsors of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to you by Four Brothers Construction with my boy Joe Olbera. He provides custom home designs and renovations. He also focuses on roofing, remodeling, renovations, plumbing, tree removal, electrical work, and so much more. Joe and his whole entire team of snacks will go to your home and make it look like a snack as well. Thank you guys so much for being a longtime sponsor of The Public Affair. I truly appreciate it. With my boy David Santabanez with Linear Real Estate. He's the #1 sales agent in his office. He'll help you buy a home or sell your home. Make sure you follow him on Facebook at David with Alinea or call the number on the screen, darling, for all your real estate needs. David and I are working on finding my dream chateau. I had to put it on hold for a minute, but David, I know it will work really, really hard to make it happen because every time I log on Facebook, he's selling a home. David, thank you so much for being a longtime sponsor of The Public Affair. I truly appreciate you, man. Of course, to Frank Biza with B&J Refinishing. He focuses on resurfacing bathtubs, counters, sinks, tiles, and more to original showroom quality. He offers 5-year warranty on most work and has the best prices in town. And Frank doesn't stop there because we all know he also has Co-Town Tint, which is a mobile tint and detailing business that offers the best high quality film and products and will be all competitive prices. Frank doesn't stop there as well because if you need some really litty things for your party, you can also contact Frank for inflatables like a mechanical bull, margarita machine, tables, chairs, a foam machine, and many, many more. Frank does every single thing that you ask him to do, and I truly appreciate him sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Thank you so much, bro. You're the best. Of course, the Plaza Waco. They're the best outdoor event center in Waco. You can hit them up to book your event like a wedding, quinceañera, corporate event, and more. They also host live concerts, a number of live concerts. So make sure you follow them on Facebook at Plaza Waco Rodeo or call the number on the screen for more information and to book your next event. Plaza Waco, I truly appreciate you guys sponsoring this episode. Thank you so much. Of course, to Jay Pedal and Poke with Junior Fuentes, Thomas Roberts, and the entire family. They provide delicious, savory Japanese crepes and poke bowls. They also have handcrafted Thai rolled ice cream for dessert. Choose from the menu or create your own like I do because I love being in control. Check out their locations on University Parks Drive and Hewitt Drive or place your order online at jpedaltx.com. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. I truly appreciate it. Of course, to Midway Nutrition with my boy Marcos Cordero. He's located on Hewitt Drive. He sells meal replacement shakes with tons of different flavors. So if you're looking for a little bit more of a healthier meal replacement, or if you're a workout junkie like me and you need that post-workout shake, Midway Nutrition is the best. My favorite is the Honey Nut Cheerio. Thank you so much for being a longtime sponsor of The Public Affair. Also, they have Waco Nutrition and Energy located on Spate. Thank you guys for sponsoring this episode. I truly appreciate it. And of course, to my girl Nancy Pulsini with Parkway National. She provides insurance for all commercial trucks and tractor trailers, also for all contractors, home, and auto. Basically, all insurance inquiries. Make sure you hit up my girl Nancy Pulsini with Parkway National Insurance. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair, Nancy. I truly appreciate you. Thank you guys all again. More to come later. All right, so like I said, I've been very, very excited about having this next guest on the show. I've ran into him a couple times in passing. I'm a huge, huge fan of one of the events that he puts on here in town, the East Side Market. I finally got him on the show after much deliberation. And I thought this was the perfect time. So everybody, please help me welcome the elusive Mr. Eric Linares. How are you?
Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, thank you for coming and being patient with me. I'm very sorry for this rough start that I had. I've had a long week. Okay, we'll just say that. Hence the wine. Okay. So I told Eric that I was going to buy him my favorite bottle of wine, which is the Apothic Red. And what is that big giant bottle of something that you brought me?
So this
what
right here is Illegal Mezcal. It's
Okay.
one of my favorite mezcals out there right now.
Is it illegal?
It was at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of all right illegal.
Yeah. But is it going to make me do illegal things?
I mean, that's up to you.
Eric, watch what you say on this show. Well, are you going to pour me some so I could try it, or was I?
Let's do this thing.
You know, after I do it, I'm going to start sweating like a hog. Oh, I like getting my top popped like that, Eric. Let me see. Oh, are you going to take it? So is it like a tequila or?
So I'm just going to give you this one so you can sip on it.
Okay. Oh, you don't take it like a shot?
And then I'm going to give you another one so we can shoot it.
Ooh. It smells a little dangerous, like illegal. Do we cheers it or
just sip?
Just
we'll
sip
sip
it.
and then we'll pour one so you can.
Eric,
you
I
can
don't listen. Okay, watch your tone. Did you sip that? Okay, hold on. Listen. Oh my. Ooh.
You ever had a mezcal before?
I don't know. It tastes very like there was a scorpion in it at one point or something.
All right, now let me give you a half so we can actually.
Okay, but I still have this much in it. Oh my god. Okay, let's take a shot of whatever's in here, please.
Okay.
That's a really big shot that you're about to take, so I hope it makes you loosey goosey. Cheers. Okay. Woo!
Delicious.
Okay, so that definitely is very strong. And you know what? I've had a really rough week, so I needed that shit. Anyway,
Right.
So Eric, first of all, I really want to thank you for coming on to this episode of The Public Affair. It's something that I've been sitting on for quite a while, so I apologize that it took so long to reach out to you. But I'm really, really grateful that you agreed to still come on. I want to talk about booking you on the show. You know, I met you through my very good friend, George Carbajal. You're also very good friends with Nancy Polsini, their brother and sister.
Yep.
I've had Israel Carbajal on the show, and they all pretty much agreed that you'd be a really great guest on the show, and they're my people. And so they wouldn't lie to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Nancy just absolutely insisted that she sponsor this episode. And I said, sure, what's up? You know, I'll never turn down some...
Right.
You know what I mean? But I just heard that you were just on another podcast. You're kind of podcast cheating on me.
I mean,
shout out that podcast.
you got to get to me first.
They are.
But, no, Waco. Really great people. Really awesome time. Have a good time with them.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Well, how did you have a good experience on there? Or?
Yeah, I love those people. I love Waco.
Oh, okay. I hope you have a different kind of experience here. Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Because there's probably people out there who are like, who is Eric Linares? Introduce yourself to us. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, life growing up and such.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. My name is, of course, Eric Linares. I am originally from Beaumont, Texas, down southeast Texas, right about like 30 minutes from Louisiana.
Okay.
So that's where I grew up. It's a city. It was kind of like what Waco was back in like 2012, maybe. So that kind of vibe is where we're from. A mixture between Waco and Killeen. I think you would get Beaumont, Texas.
Okay, got you. Like, are you talking about like Nolanville? You know?
Right. But I'm from down there. All my family, they're from Tamaulipas. From
good old Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
you know I'm banned. That's why you got that, right? Because I'm illegal in Mexico now.
Are you now?
I am.
Why?
Because I went to my best friend's wedding and messed around with somebody, and I'm now branded the whore of town now.
I mean, that's just in one town. You got to go to the next one over now.
You're right. But if I do it in that town, I'm going to do it everywhere. I was in a different country. What do you expect? You know what I mean?
Well, we got plenty of towns and plenty of countries.
As long as I don't get scalpel, we're fine.
Right. But no, I came up here to Waco back in 2012. I went to school here over at Baylor.
Oh, okay.
Went to Baylor. Took a little bit of a victory lap. Stayed another extra year. And then graduated and stuck around. I really enjoyed the city. I really enjoyed the community that I started getting a part of. And that kind of kept me here.
So you've been here since 2012.
2012.
You're giving me kind of hippie vibes. Am I being judgmental, or is that what we're doing?
No. It depends.
It's not a bad thing.
I think all my friends are hippies. Okay. But I don't know if I feel like I'm somewhere in between.
You look like I could see you sitting in one of those circles with the flutes. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not going to say that it hasn't happened before.
Yeah. Okay, so you moved here to go to Baylor. How was your time there? You know what? Like, every time I think of Baylor, I love Baylor. Right. I love the campus. Right. But, I did my Grindr World Tour a couple weeks ago. Okay. I talked about it on episode 69 of The Public Affair. And there were a lot of people there from Baylor. And from what I understand, it's one of those schools where it's like kind of frowned upon. So not to suggest that you're gay. I'm just saying, like, what was it really like?
Well, my experience with Baylor was a very kind of like, I stayed in my lane and did my own thing. Hung out with my friends. We didn't really associate too much with the actual kind of like Baylor experience. Not until I really graduated and came back.
Oh, okay, got you.
But yeah, it wasn't terrible for me. It was a good time. I love the location. I love the
you just
people.
Absorbed it, and
I did my time there.
Right.
Hung around and had a good time, and then bounced out.
And you know what? I definitely want to talk a little bit about your life growing up. So you said that you're from Beaumont. Beaumont. Okay. You mentioned that your family is from Tamaulipas. Is that what it's called? Okay, yeah. ¿Habla español?
Sí.
Ah, okay, cool. Yo quiero un capítulo puro en español.
Okay.
Okay? Anyway, not this one. But anyway.
I was like, you want this one?
No, not this one. I have somebody in mind. It's one of my old radio colleagues.
Hey,
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, but about your life growing up, I mean, so did your parents kind of migrate here, or was everything done the right way, so to speak?
So my dad, he actually was, he had come over here back in the 80s as a farmer. So through the, I guess the Reagan administration.
Yeah,
So he had been all over basically United States, from down here all the way up to like Niagara Falls or whatnot.
Oh, wow.
But eventually he settled down in Beaumont, Texas, because he had an uncle that was at that location. So they just kind of met up, had a place to stay.
Right.
And then eventually more and more of his family came over.
Okay.
He had already kind of known my mom back in Tampico. And so eventually once they kind of get established here, he went back, brought her back over. They both got residency and then citizenship. And and then they've just been working hard ever since.
And so, but you were born here in the States.
I was born down in Beaumont, Texas.
You know, I always wonder because my best friend and my best friend Lupita, you know, hi man, Lupita, husband and wife, you know, he brought her here from Mexico as well. And I know that to be like kind of a customary thing too. And I always wonder what goes through the woman's head when they're about to leave this whole different country to go be with their man in a different country. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Lupita's adjusted well. It's like really helped her learn English and stuff like that. But I just never, I always wonder, like, I mean, I would definitely leave the United States to go be with some man in Korea. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But like,
South Korea or North Korea?
Either.
Oh, okay.
North Korea sounds like there's some shit going on over there that I kind of want to be a part of. Maybe some illegal stuff, right?
Probably a lot of illegal stuff.
Do you see yourself ever following suit in something like that, or are you more into the Americanized woman?
Well, thankfully, I already have a woman right now. So,
oh, do you?
Yeah, but she's actually half Puerto Rican.
Me too. Well, I'm full Puerto Rican.
Right. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But no, I think it's an awesome thing. You know, it's one of those things where you experience an entire different culture, you experience an entire different way of life, and if you know, what is that true love thing, and so they want to go and.
I don't know, because these days, if you have good D, I'm down. Like I'm so going to Korea. I'm actually subscribed to this South Korean OnlyFans, and I messaged him on Instagram, and he said he would come on the public affair.
Hey,
but I told him I'd fly him to Texas. I wonder if I did that, would he have sex with me? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm sure you get enough of this going. I'm sure
right.
You know.
But if I fly you from a different country, I feel like that's grounds for total bonus, right?
Isn't that what they call mail order brides, right?
Yeah, right. Like I can be on that show. What's that show? 90 Day Fiance or something like that. Yeah. But I'm gonna be on
the guy with the no neck.
Oh, I don't know about all that. No, my obsession right now has been with My 600-Pound Life.
Okay.
There was this one episode with this fucking guy who is butt-ass naked in his bed all day, fat as hell, and all he does is play video games. And his dad brings him Jack in the Box. Like, hello, the life. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're getting off topic. I'm sorry. Okay, so the moving and the transitioning to Waco for you was pretty natural. Like, you've grown to love the city.
Yeah. Because honestly, when I graduated, I didn't really apply to. Oh, well, actually. I applied to every kind of college in Texas, and Baylor was the first one to get back to me. They actually got back to me through a text within an hour of the application. So they were like, texted me, you're accepted. And I was like, all right, I'm going to Baylor.
Oh, so that's why you were just like, this.
I didn't put much thought into it. And, I honestly didn't even know Baylor was a private Baptist school. I didn't know where Waco was.
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm going here and whatever. And bam, here I am.
Okay, cool. And so you're done with the school now. I got you.
Right.
Okay, so Eric, can you tell us what you do? Because so when I think of you, I think of like an event planner. Because you do put on like things like the East Side Market. You just had the Dia de los Muertos festival.
Yes. I think, man, it's really hard to like describe what, I don't know. I feel like
do you have a job? You know, like
that's what my mom asks me all the time. Like, do you have a job? But no, honestly, it's just that. It's creating. My thing is creating experiences for people.
Okay, got you.
You know, and if that revolves around art, culture, music, whatever the thing, a market, a festival, basically a party or this or that. That's my kind of main passion, is creating experiences that kind of bring people together and kind of share culture and community.
What inspired you to do something like that? Because I can't even plan a damn birthday party for myself, much less some town event. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it honestly all revolves back to this idea of, so when I was in college, of course I started off as every other naive college kid thinking that I was going to be a doctor, and then quickly found out that's not the case. eventually I wound up back into the business, and I want to do entrepreneurship because all my family have kind of been entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
My entire family, they have all kind of had to do what they had to do to survive.
Okay.
And that's one of the kind of main kind of tenets of entrepreneurship that I really like.
Gotcha.
So I went into the entrepreneurship degree, and I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. And so like 90% of the people that go into entrepreneurship, they end up working for some like company out in like, I don't know, Dallas or Austin or something like that.
Got you.
But eventually I knew that whatever I wanted to do, it had to follow these kind of set guidelines.
Okay.
Where it had to be something that I really was passionate about. It had to be something that I could feel like I could make an impact, and it had to be something that would bring people together. Because all those three things are stuff that I've always kind of held close to my heart in the way that I want to do things. And it honestly kicked off with food. Oh. So originally, one of my first kind of like ventures in Waco was this food pop-up, Quetzal. So it was this idea of creating real authentic home-cooked meals, home-cooked tacos and everything, guisados and all that stuff.
Delicious. With
the, of course, the concept is everybody wants to sit around food. Everybody wants to, food is kind of like that universal glue that brings cultures and brings people together. So it was food that really kind of got me going and got me connected with a lot of the organizations here in Waco. Oh. Doing pop-ups, doing events, connecting with people that had spaces, with other people that were entrepreneurs. Eventually, we realized that, we know all these entrepreneurs, we know all these people, we know all these like small startups. Why can't we just kind of like do an event to bring them all together?
Right, totally.
And that was our first time, like doing the East Side Market was that idea.
So that's how the East Side Market was birthed.
Yeah, bring people together, connecting with Brotherwell. Brotherwell at the time, they were really like open to like, well, we have this space and do whatever you want in it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we came to them and they were like, hey, we want to do a market, we want to bring people together, and they're like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, I love the idea of the East Side Market. Our friend George paints there, I think, every single time, and they have a really good, really great artists there too. I know Scuba Valley. He paints there as well. Of course, I'll go watch my bro Jay. But in the summertime, though, Eric, I'm not even gonna lie, it's too hot.
It's
torturous,
hot,
and it's an outside event, and it's like 100 degrees, and I'm sweating from head to toe the minute I get there. But other than that, like I really do enjoy like the vibes of the festival. I went to East Side Market the first time, and I got my palm reading. What is it? Blissfire?
Oh, Blissfire.
Yeah.
Bobby Mose.
I think the guy who did it for me, I think his name was Anakin. I think he works at HEB now. I think I saw him this morning. I don't know if that was him, so I was scared to say hi.
Does he have amazing flowing hair?
Yeah, and those perfect like crystal eyes. You know what I mean? Like that just capture you. He's not. I don't want to sleep with him. I just think they capture you. And so basically, he did my handwriting, and it was the perfect thing ever because he was just like, everybody in the world has issues with you, but it's not your problem. And I was like, duh, I knew that. Right. Thanks for solidifying that for me. You know what I mean? But how hard is it to put together an event like the East Side Market? I know that last time I saw you and when I like formally invited you on the show, you were having an issue where some of the vendors didn't show up at the last minute, and there was like a lack of food and stuff. Like how I would be pissed.
It's really about it's hard at first, but eventually once you get kind of like a groove, once you've created an established system and established infrastructure for getting vendors in, for getting all that stuff, and then it honestly becomes pretty easy to manage. Okay. It's only with the food vendors are really hard in this town because food industry in general has become such a very difficult industry to be in. We don't have that many workers or people like, get out of the field here and there. And a lot of the food vendors, a lot of the small mom and pop food trucks and food establishments are really struggling to have like actual consistent workers and actually be able to do events here and there.
Baby, I can name two right now that is just them. Chunky's Tacos will come out there and feed you some tacos. So make sure you call. I'll give you his number. Okay. I don't remember his name, but it's Chunky's Tacos. And then of course Fat Boy Michelin and Botanas, my boy Junior Banda. He can set up a whole tent out there too, and so you Botana trays, okay? And my people are punctual.
All right.
When they're represented by the public affair, let's just make that very, very clear because we had a little mishap. But remember that I represent by one thing, and it's the public affair. Anyway, no, okay. So when something like that does happen, though, I mean, how do you keep it from getting under your skin? Because I know that when somebody doesn't come through for a commitment with me, that's detriment. Like, okay, so in podcasts, sometimes I have to reschedule, which is my worst nightmare. Like I low key hate it, but I understand that shit happens, and I let it get the best of me sometimes, and then it's like, fuck, I gotta find somebody to replace them, and I've been doing plan Bs now. But how do you let something like that not get under your skin where it's like, damn, like these two food vendors are not going to be here, and now I have to like eat shit and tell these people, okay, you're not eating at the East Side Market. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, when you're in the moment of some shit going down, you just have to figure out what the best option and how to figure out that thing right now. It's no sense in getting flustered or emotional, because it's not going to accomplish anything.
Okay.
You know, I need to focus on the thing that needs to be solved, and if it can't be solved, I need to focus on the mitigation of the outcomes of that thing. So to me, it's just like, okay, fuck it. Figure out something to do, get some pizza in, fire up the goddamn barbecue, throw some hot dogs in. And then next time we plan anything, then we have a discussion and we're like, okay, why did this happen? Who was involved? What was the reasoning? Can we trust people again, or this and that?
Right. Make sure you contact Fatboy Michelada Botana.
Right on.
And make sure you contact Chunky Taco.
I will.
Those two right there will be there early. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Kaylin Flores with Elevate just had an event that I was invited to, represented by something else. And Fatboy Michelada, and he was there on time, set up and everything. Yeah. Anyway, that's just a suggestion. How do you go about finding vendors, and what is the process in doing that, in case anybody watching this is interested? Like, if I wanted to be a vendor with a public affair and I wanted to go out there and promote my podcast, like,
I mean, honestly, it's like, the way we started finding vendors was literally me on Instagram, just kind of like going through hashtag Waco, hashtag Waco entrepreneur.
Right.
And I would just go through and see like, oh, somebody's doing this thing. I would message them, DM, whatnot. Nowadays, if you go to the East Side Instagram or the website, we have a link to our webpage, and it just kind of like creates a whole thing. You just go through it.
Oh, really?
Create your profile, create your vendor profile, apply to each individual season that you want, and all the payment and stuff is all kind of integrated in the website.
Oh, right. Got you. Is it expensive?
No. That's one of the biggest things about the East Side Market, is that we wanted to create a space that was inclusive and was really just kind of like a spot where people could do whatever they wanted to do. You know, if they were like making, jewelry like part-time or like a side hustle in their bedroom, we wanted to make it inclusive for them to come out. So if you want a space inside at indoor tent, it's like $30. If you want a big 10 by 10 setup, it's $45.
Oh, that ain't shit.
If you want to be a food vendor that like gonna make some money, it's $75.
Wow.
So it's like at the end of the day, it's like we want to create a space that's inclusive, it's accessible, and people are just gonna have a good time and can push their products and push their brands out into a larger sphere.
Right. And I think it's so important to keep things affordable like that as well. Like, I understand we have to make money, but like, I know when I was involved in trying to sell vendor spots for an event that I was doing when I was on the radio, it was very expensive to do that, and like the prices that they were telling us to try and sell them for, I just felt like were astronomical. And so I always wondered, like, I understand that you have to make a profit out of this, but how do you get to keep something so affordable and continue to do it? Like, because I think you guys put that on like every month, right?
We do put it on every month, and one of the things is that we have a partnership with Brotherwell, and so we get a revenue share of all the beer that gets sold. So for us, it's lucrative. The more people we bring in, the more people are getting drunk, the better we have.
Well, okay, so that kind of leads me on to my next question. So you guys do serve alcohol at these events.
We do.
Have you seen any crazy things happen? Like, do people kind of get out of hand sometimes?
Honestly, breweries don't have that kind of community where it's like people get super trashed, other than me, No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, the craziest thing I've seen is just like people like falling over and taking the trash can with them.
Oh, wow. Is that right?
Yeah.
Never nothing like super scandalous, like, oh shit.
I mean, depending on what part of the brewery you're looking at, I feel like. But no, half the time it's pretty chill. People, it's all, we try to keep our events kind of daytime. So like, usually sketchy things happen towards the evening.
Baby, I'm banned from the whole wine and food festival. Oh. I can't go back, and that starts at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay, don't worry, we'll make our own wine and food festival.
You know what?
I'll make one just for you.
I would love to partner with you guys, the Public Affair, and put on I really been wanting to put on a really big event that I've been talking about for quite a while. I personally don't know where to start with it, to be honest, because I'm not really good at planning things like that.
What I found is that the best way to start an event is to go on Facebook and say you're throwing an event. And then you figure out how to throw the event
as
afterwards.
You're going. Okay, I got you.
Which is kind of how we've thrown all of our events.
Oh my goodness. So, another event that you just had go on, as of the recording of this episode, we just passed Halloween, and so by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be like before Thanksgiving. Right.
Nice.
But you guys just had the Dia de los Muertos festival.
Yes,
was that the first time that you guys? Now you're associated with Cultivate Waco, is that correct?
So I'm not directly associated with Creative Waco.
Oh my God, why did I say Cultivate? Creative Waco. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It was that illegal stuff.
I kind of operate as a free agent. It seems like when it comes to doing events and whatnot.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah. So that was the first parade we've ever thrown in Waco directly for Dia de los Muertos. I have been 2 years ago, back in 2019. Me and Dominic we threw a community ofrenda and a festival down at the South Waco Rec Center.
Okay, I feel like I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah, great, good, amazing guy, amazing representative.
Dominic, if I'm friends with you, hey, yeah. I think I am friends with him.
Amazing guy. But yeah, so we threw an event down there together, and then but the next year, because of COVID, we weren't able to do anything for that thing. So the Hispanic Chamber actually contacted me through for the Maple Museum, and we were able to kind of place the ofrenda that we had for the community ofrenda at the Maple Museum.
Right.
And so then we had a Maple Museum community ofrenda for the community.
Right.
This year we did the Maple Museum community ofrenda again, but we wanted to come back, and there was another group of people, real good friends, Julie Cervantes, Roxana Robles, Nancy Puccini, and then Claudia.
Yeah.
They have this Latina group, and so they came up with the idea. They wanted to do a fashion show. Roxana wanted to do another fashion show because she's an amazing designer here in Waco. So once they got that idea, it then just kind of spiraled into becoming like, hey, we want to do a parade. And I was like, then eventually becomes like, we want to go this and that.
Okay.
And so thankfully, Fiona from Creative Waco, she caught wind of all of that and involved me in, because I was involved in the previous ones. So I came back on board. We created an amazing team, and then we just kind of threw this festival on.
I want you to tell Fiona that I love her and that I love her accent.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Very unique.
Yeah.
As right now, she's probably in the UK right now. I think she's going to visit her father.
I want you to tell her that Andrew Gomez from The Public Affair loves her.
Okay.
From The Public Affair.
I will directly to her face.
No, yeah. You know what? Is there anything daunting when putting on festivals like that? Like, is there, like, how do you personally, I know we talked about, like, okay, so you lose vendors and you're not losing your shit, but how daunting is it to put something on like that for the community, and then like reaching out to the community to come and support it? You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. There's a lot of things, like when it comes to an event, there's like, the biggest issue is like, one, is it going to work? And two, is anyone going to be there? Okay. And so those are the two biggest things that you have to kind of worry about.
Right.
Thankfully, with this actual event, the community has such a big connection to Dia de los Muertos. They want to rediscover their roots, rediscover their traditions, and so they're real, and passionate of going out and supporting any kind of event. But it still doesn't mean that it's not like, anxiety is like crazy. Leading up to the event, half the time you're just kind of like, what's going to go on? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work?
Right.
And but you just have to kind of power through that. It's one of those things where if you're a performer, if you're some kind of musician, it's literally, you always are anxious. You always have this kind of idea. And like, that just means that you're really wanting it to go well. You're putting a lot of effort into it. You want it to happen. And so it's a part of the game. You just have to learn to live with it.
Can you walk me through the first time you ever put on an event like that? I mean, because you're not from here, so people are probably like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" You know what I mean? Like coming up to me talking about he's going to start some event. Because what I've noticed, like I saw somebody put on Facebook the other day that people not from Waco are evolving Waco or something like that. And I don't know if it was like a negative comment or a positive content. I don't know how to take something like that. So you not being from here and you putting on a good event. Or putting on an event, did you find it difficult to do something like that in the beginning?
I mean, honestly, it's just how well you connect with the community, how well you use your networks that you've created. Thankfully, all of the events that I do, I try to involve people of the community. I try to involve people that have a connection, and we try to leverage all of that to create an amazing event. Okay. I mean, it's not easy, and it's always kind of like you're always working on tiptoes, trying to figure out and trying to make sure everything's working right. Right. But for me, going back to directly for that question of the outsider type dilemma. Right. I feel like that's the same case in every city. Okay. Like even in Beaumont, Texas. So I'm doing events in Beaumont, my hometown, right now at the same time. Oh. I have another market down there that I run. I do other events down there. Right. And the same thing that kind of gets played around down there, where people from the community, which I am from the community over there. Right. But other people start saying that, there's people that moved to Beaumont in the last like 5 years. And they're the ones doing things in Beaumont. They're the ones creating new businesses and creating new things. I feel like half of the time you either are gonna take charge and gonna be like impassionate and evolving your own city and creating events for your own city, or you're gonna, a lot of people with wherever city they live in, they just kind of like, they want to get out of it. They want to either get out of it or they don't want to invest into it.
Right.
And for me, it's like, I left my hometown for a little bit, but now I'm going back and I'm reinvesting as much as I can in my hometown. And I would love people. I welcome people to create their own events, and I really be happy and be proud of where you're from. Be proud of like creating Waco, centric events, done by Wacoans for Wacoans.
Right.
So like, it really just comes down to the things like you just got to do it.
I mean, I get where you're coming from though, and the reason why I asked, like when I started the public affair, I'm not from Waco, like I'm not from Texas. I moved here when I was 15. So when I started the public affair, I was like, surely not a lot of people are gonna watch it. You know what I mean? And then everybody watches it now, which is really great. But, and so I found it quite daunting to try and connect with people. But I would definitely say that since I had already been on the radio for 5 years at that point, that that really kind of helped. Not that they helped because they didn't, but no, not in a bad way. But like I never promoted it when I was on the radio, and so
people knew you.
But people knew you. There were people who did tune in and then like followed me on Facebook, and they were like, "Oh wait, what the fuck's he doing now?" You know what I mean? And then shared it was like, "Oh, this shit's funny," So that I'm grateful for. But I always wondered, the same for you too.
I feel like half the time it's like if you're authentic about what you're doing, if you really care about the community you're doing for, like I am incredibly thankful for the community of Waco, of like being supportive of the events that I've thrown, being a part of the events that I've thrown, and like that's one of the things that I really cherish is like the ability to kind of throw events and be accepted into that sphere. So if you're authentic about the things, if you're really doing it for the right reason, for the right cause, I think people will be supportive of it.
And the East Side Market is such a great event, you guys. Like if you've never checked it out, you should totally go. Like if you're into artsy stuff, you know what I mean? Like what's the objective when you put on something like the East Side Market? Like what are you trying to do with that?
I mean, it's twofold. It's creating a community, creating a space where like people want to go and they feel like a connection to an art, to music, to a good vibe. And then for the people that are vendors, it's to leverage the playing field, like creating a space where they can easily come in and it completely being accessible to whatever kind of economic standpoint. But then you're able to showcase your business and showcase your entrepreneurship or your art and this and that. Right. So it's literally leveraging the playing field with whatever else is happening in Waco and whatever else is happening.
And
downtown.
I think you meet some really like eclectic people as well. Like I met Hope, who was on the show earlier. Yeah, I met her there. I love Hope. She's so awesome. I met some witches there too.
Yes,
but they're not like witches like hocus pocus witches. Right. They're witches with like big tatters and they're fucking hot. and just food for thought. Just like as a little side note, for Halloween, I wanted episode, I believe it was 70 or 69. I wanted them on the show, and then they got sick. So they like one of them got sick, and then one of them like the timing wasn't right. But there's like 3 of them. I'm not gonna say who they are because I still want to work on booking them because I think it'd be like really interesting. I know. I think you know who you're talking about. But but I am working on trying to book them on the show, hopefully in the future. But I thought that was such a good timeline, but then unfortunately the time did not connect. So. But it's like weird. So if you guys have never been to the East Side Market, now are you still putting it on as of right now?
Yes. It's going on. So the East Side Market happens every third Sunday over at Brotherwell Brewing, which is one of our local breweries here. It is located off of, I think, 400 Bridge Street. Right there between Elm and Bridge Street. Right. It's a really cool event. We have upwards of 40, 45 plus vendors, food trucks, graffiti art competitions, music. Just good vibes.
Witches, they tell your future.
A lot of everything. Yeah. And that's one of the greatest things I love about the East Side Market is that we've kind of created a space where people from all of the communities are able to kind of come in through and have a good time. We one of our biggest things is vintage clothes and everything. Oh yeah. So we get a lot of like younger kids, either college or high school kids come through, and then we mix it up with like older like beer drinking people, like craft beer drinkers and IPA people. Yeah. And so it's cool to like look out into the crowd and see like usually you probably wouldn't see these people right next to each other. Yeah, definitely. I think that's really, really awesome. Is there a way that people can contribute? Like, do you guys do? I mean, so you fund it by like you
you go half with, or you take a percentage from Brotherwell Brewery. How else? I mean, can people contribute to putting on your events and stuff like that? Like, do you guys usually open things like a GoFundMe, a Patreon, or something?
I mean, honestly, it kind of like sustains itself, but we are like looking into like creating bigger opportunities, larger scale events, and so things like sponsorships are becoming available.
If you ever need anything from the public affair,
right on.
You see what this glass says? If you ever need anything from, I'm a little toasty. Yeah. Eric, stop trying to get me drunk and sleep with me, please. If your girlfriend is Puerto Rican, like you say, that means she's fucking crazy. Okay? And I don't want, I'm Puerto Rican. That means she's half fucking crazy. Okay, then she's something crazy. Okay? And I know them Puerto Ricans get down. My cousin Kathy don't play them games. I'm so grateful that you came onto this episode of The Public Affair. No, so you guys are going to see probably sponsorship sometime in the future.
Yeah.
I do want you to know that you can reach out to The Public Affair, and I will definitely look into the options. I am independently funded. I mean, I am run by my own sponsors as well. But, you know, yeah. So
we'll get something started. We'll get something going
I would love to, definitely be a part in that. I would love to, sometime come out to the East Side Market, maybe set up my own little table out there, and
you just let me know. We'll partner with them.
Yeah, sure. For $45, I'm bringing Fat Boy and Chunkies with me. What are you talking about? We're about to have the littest fucking section over there with the music, the bitches. Like, it's gonna be totally lit. Are there restrictions when you're planning an event? I'm just curious. Like, is there something that you won't do?
So no, it's not necessarily something that we won't do. It's just kind of like creating the space where Brotherwell. It is a private space, and they operate kind of like a way that they want to be family friendly and this and that and whatnot. Funny story. One of the first.
I can't go. Never mind.
No, none of that.
I'm just sleeping at everybody's husband.
It's more chill. No, I remember our first market. So as I said before, one of the ways I would like invite people to the East Side Market. The first one was just go on Instagram. So I was going through Instagram, this and that, and looking at individual vendors. And one time I saw this like bondage like vendor, like bondage and like handmade here in
like
Waco.
BDSM,
kind of stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And like I reached out to them, and they were like, we'd love to come out. And so they came out. They created an amazing. They also have a podcast too.
Cool.
And so they came out. They did like a half podcast, half their lingerie bondage.
Who are they? What's their name?
So I love them. There's the skeletons over there.
I love this guy. Necroelectric.
Yes.
Oh, I was on Necroelectric.
Right,
I love the skeletons.
So, love them.
Yeah.
We had them out there at the first market. Well, honestly, we had them at a lot of markets, but I remember vividly one of the first markets. One of the owners of the Brotherwell, he came up to me afterwards, and they were like, apparently some old lady almost fainted because they saw this like bondage and like stuff like that. And I was like, whatever.
I love them. You know what? I should have them on the show. I'm so sorry that I haven't invited you guys on the show. They did invite me on Necroelectric last year. It was literally last year, like in December. And so I was very like, that was a pretty cool experience because they're very like Halloween-y, like year round.
That's their thing, Spooky Vibe 365.
Yeah, I like them. Like
they're
like,
amazing.
It's like dark and gothic, but they're not weird about it. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. Like I fucks with it heavy. I do. Now it's not my cup. Like it's not me. Right. You know what I mean? Like I'm more into like Latin vibes and sex with men and sex with people's husbands. I mean, which we definitely talked about on that show.
Right.
So if you guys haven't seen Necroelectric, go check it out. I'm on that episode. But I love the skeletons. Eric, what are you doing when are you trying to feed me more of that?
You want some?
Are you trying to get me more drunk?
All right. Let's get some more.
Oh shit, Eric. What's next for you? Like what? So you're putting on these really successful events and everything, which I would anytime you would like to be interested in partnership with the Public Affair, I would definitely love to be a part of that.
Love to.
But thank you so much. What do you do like when you're not putting on events? Like what does Eric Linares like to do in his spare time with his half quarter Puerto Rican wife?
Usually
besides half hot Puerto Rican sex.
Usually go eat food and drink at bars. And it usually makes up my entire other time of my life.
Yeah, I got you. Do you ever wonder like maybe I should get like a how do I put this without sounding like an asshole? Not a stable job, but do you ever think like, okay, maybe events are not gonna like how did you survive COVID? Do you know what I mean? Like, so what do you do then?
Throwing virtual events. This and that and whatnot.
Okay.
I mean, I've been offered a lot of stable jobs with like nice paying salaries and this and that. And like, although for a lot of people, disability is something that's really important for them. For me, it's more the freedom of being able to create just my own thing,
right,
and cultivate the feelings and the vibes that I want to cultivate myself.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy living the way that I'm living.
That's
and
so
creating
good.
the stuff that I'm doing. I wouldn't change it for the world.
You're like a whole vibe. Yeah. Like, I can't wait to listen. I love my full-time gig. I really do. But I can't wait till the public affair is the only thing I'm living on. And I'm like in my beach house. You know what I mean?
Right.
Naked as fuck with my Korean man.
I mean,
or my man that's making construction houses that needs
mojitos,
that's
margaritas.
It. Just like Javier Slower, the pool boy. You know what I mean?
Listen. If you ever go down to Cancun area, go to this place called Xcaret. Xcaret Hotel. Like that place has got the vibes.
Does it have hot men?
There probably is a lot of hot men down there. All right? They may also have wives, and so
Eric, I'm sorry that I know that everybody judges me when I say this, but it has never stopped me. Like,
like it's a challenge, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But and cheers to that. But no, honestly, in a respectful manner, and I feel like I'm validated in this. If I'm like really cool with the wife, like me and her, but I would never, you know what I mean? Like the girlfriend, I would never, because we're all friends. But if I don't know her from a can of paint. And what do you expect? You know what I mean?
Right.
Ooh, I spit there. Sorry.
Jungle out there.
Yeah, I told you that when I drink this apothic red wine, I usually have sex afterwards, but I had sex before this. So,
okay.
It was a random hookup. Anyway, well, Eric, thank you so much for coming on to this podcast. What's next for you? What do you got going on? What can we expect from you?
As of this event, this podcast going live, probably I've already have done two other events.
So you said that East Side Market comes on the third Sunday of every month, right?
Third Sunday of every month.
Right.
We're actually launching a new thing where every first Friday we'll do a vintage focus market. So just vintage clothes, more of a swap meet style. So anybody that has like a rack of clothes that wants to come out and wants to like trade, sell, buy type situation, we're going to try to start up a market like that, kind of a chill vibe. And then I got my stuff going on in my hometown. Honestly, the biggest, like, I want to get more, like, the Dia de los Muertos event really kind of opened my eyes to the potential of what can happen at a larger scale for Waco.
Something else. I was about to punch in your face because I told you. Nothing. Go ahead. I told you I had nothing to do with that. But anyway, go ahead.
Right. So yeah. So the potential of these kind of larger scale events have really kind of like, I don't know. They've got my attention, and so maybe one of these days we can throw something bigger, something cooler, something.
I'm so excited. I think that's so exciting. I think that what you are doing is really, really great. I think the community needed something like this. I think we needed these events going on. Is there like a social media page that our listeners and our viewers can follow to kind of see like what events you have coming up? And should I just add you on Facebook?
Sure. You just go straight to my my Instagram. It's Venturing Local on Instagram, and so basically, if you follow me, I post my kind of day to day everything that I'm doing, all the food I'm eating, every place that I'm going, everything that I'm involved in.
I like to venture with local men too. Hey, that's what I should change my Instagram name to. Venturing with local men. Hello. What am I fucking sleeping on, right?
It's a good one.
Eric, you've been such a great guest. I'm so grateful that you came on to the Public Affair.
No, thank you.
Thank you for bringing that Ilegal. Reposado. I'm going to do some illegal things when I leave here. Okay. We took a couple shots during our breaks. Right. Eric, I'm really, really grateful. Thank you for taking the time to come. And thank you for being patient with me as far as me inviting you. Because I know we've talked about it for quite a while.
We're all busy people out in this world. We're all doing our things. But thank you so much for inviting me, for being a part of your show, for being a part of your community.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Thank you. And we'll finish this here, Apothic Red.
Cheer this Apothic Red. I think that's as good as I can do right now. I gotta drive home. I gotta go to Soko after this, actually.
All right.
But no, to everybody who tuned into this episode, thank you guys again so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this episode of The Public Affair. To Eric Linares, thank you again so much for coming on. Of course, before we go, I definitely want to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of The Public Affair. Of course, this episode is brought to you by Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez. They're located on Franklin Drive. They offer team, small group, and individual skill training. They also specialize in soccer training with Dominic. He trains a lot of kids to play soccer and teach them how to play like professionals. Make sure you follow them on Facebook at Soko Soccer Academy and at Soko254 on Instagram. To Soko Soccer Academy, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Elite Barbershop with my boy Sid Rodriguez. He's located on Hewitt Drive. You can download the Cut app or call the number on the screen to book. He also has Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, D-Rod, and Isaac over there making you look like an entire snack. All those barbers do so good on everything that they do. They're very, very talented barbers, and I love them. To Elite Barbershop, Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. I truly appreciate you, Sid. Thank you for always being in my corner. Of course, to my boy Jeffrey Monreal with Pollo Box and Audio. He's home for all LED needs and auto accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and much more. He's definitely a jack of all trades, a one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. Jeffrey is absolutely the GOAT, and I love him. Make sure you guys follow him on Facebook at Pollo Box and Audio as well, because he is going to be doing a giveaway for an Apple Play car stereo and Android Play car stereo, I believe is what it was called. But he's going to be doing the giveaway very, very soon for Christmas. So make sure you guys follow Pollo Box and Audio on Facebook so you guys can enter the contest coming soon. Of course, to Banda's hauling service with Julian and Ana Banda. They rent dump trailers. You fill it up and they haul it away. They also do junk removals and tree brush removals and haul cars in and out of town, which I think is a perfect idea. To Banda's hauling service, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode. Make sure you guys book now with the number on the screen if you guys need those services done. Julian and Anna, I truly, truly appreciate you guys sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, the Fat Boy Michelada and Botana, which you're gonna get at an event. I'm gonna give you his number, and you're gonna love it. Him and Chunky's Tacos, I promise. I love those guys. Fat Boy Michelada and Botana is brought to you by Junior Banda. He provides the best micheladas and botana plates for yourself or for a party. Locally operated. Make sure you get the best and not the rest. I love Fat Boy Michelada. They're my vice. They are my vice. I love rolling around a botana tray. It's absolutely amazing. I do. I'm not even gonna lie.
What happens when Tahin gets up in you?
Yeah. Tahin gets up in somewhere. So Junior Banda, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Again, thank you guys again so much for all the love and support. Thank you guys for over 1,200 subscribers of The Public Affair so far. I really appreciate it. I can't thank the community and everybody who watches this show enough. If I wrote it in the sky, it wouldn't be enough. If God came down and told you guys how thankful I was, it wouldn't be enough. So I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for writing with this podcast as hard as you guys have for so long. And I want you to know that we're going to keep on going. So with that being said, don't forget to always keep it between us.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.